Weißt du, was ich meine? Ich wünsche es niemandem. Aber dass man zumindest Monte war derjenige, den man zu Hause streamen wollte, weil Leute dorthin kommen und Mistsachen machen und deswegen sich da nicht mehr wohlfühlte. Ja, weil dann zu Hause halt das ist halt ein Heiligtum. Und deswegen habe ich halt gehofft, dass er zumindest weiß, wie das ist, mit gestalkt werden und so. Ich wette, das ist auch schon passiert, schon vorher. Aber wie gesagt, bei ihm ist auch was anderes. Bei ihm ist es wie bei mir. Ich bin halt ein Kerl, ich bin groß, ich bin breit, ich mache mir weniger Sorgen darum.
Gerade überhaupt geht und was überhaupt im Hintergrund alles abgeht. Aber hey Leute, Hauptsache Clips fahren und das Thema noch größer machen, ohne das irgendwie einzuordnen.
Es gab dazu eine relativ große Studie, wo rauskam, die Leute, die drumherum stehen und so mitmachen vom Rand, die wissen eigentlich, dass das falsch ist. Wenn man mal ein bisschen reflektieren würde, sich mal hinsetzt und sich vorstellt, was wäre, wenn mir das passieren würde, was wäre, wenn das hier im echten Leben passieren würde, außerhalb vom Netz, wo man sofort...
Ja, aber das Problem ist, du fühlst dich, also die meisten Menschen im Internet fühlen sich, glaube ich, unverwundbar. Die denken halt immer, mir kann das eh nicht passieren. Du lädst ja einen Torrent runter, ich werde eh nicht erwischt. Ja, es ist halt, die meisten Leute im Internet, ich kann alles sagen, ich kann alles schreiben, ist alles cool, ich kann machen, was ich will, ist ja alles nur ein Joke. Ich glaube, die meisten Menschen im Internet fühlen sich einfach so, als könnte ihnen nie irgendwas passieren oder nichts könnte ihnen was anhaben. Naja, bis dann vielleicht doch irgendwann was passiert.
merken würde und auch eigentlich tief in sich drin weiß, das ist falsch.
Das Ganze ging dann übrigens in einem Gartic Phone Stream weiter. Auch diese Clips habe ich zuhauf von euch zugeschickt bekommen. Ihr habt mich geflutet. Und ja, was soll ich sagen? Ich verstehe warum. Denn nachdem man jetzt mittlerweile alle Streamer auf das Thema aufmerksam gemacht hat, muss man natürlich damit weitermachen. Und ich muss ehrlich sagen, dass sowas von so einem kommt, wundert mich nicht. Denn das ist nämlich der gleiche, der auch bei einer Rose Mondi zu weit ging.
Rose Mondi übrigens, glaube ich, Miss Germany geworden. Ne? Irgendwie sowas war da, glaube ich. Habe ich heute nebenbei irgendwo aufgeschnappt. Nur ganz kurz nebenbei gedroppt.
Deswegen findet man es mutmaßlich auch lustig, einen mehrfach Straftäter Epstein zu mimen, indem man das gleiche wie er anzieht. Das ist
ich muss ganz kurz mal eben scrollen. Schön, wie hier Lügen über Männer erfunden wurden, die nicht schwimmen. Jeder weiß, dass Frauen die Täter genannt sind und nicht Männer. Schön, wie die Motzen männerfeindlich sind. Die nicht stimmen, meinst du, nicht schwimmen? Die nicht, wie hier Lügen über Männer erfunden werden, die nicht stimmen. Jeder weiß, dass Frauen die Täter genannt sind und nicht Männer. Schön, wie die... Was? Magnus, was?
Bruder.
Ja, aber doch nicht so, dass man, wir sind erwachsene Männer. Du kannst doch nicht irgendwas machen, wo du weißt, du kannst Probleme kriegen.
Aber das ist nicht lustig, Bruder.
Und ich muss sagen, ich finde es sehr cool und
Gott sei Dank. Ali hat mir gerade ein bisschen Hoffnung gemacht. Gott sei Dank.
vor allem wichtig von den Streamern, die sich bei diesem Spiel dann distanziert haben und gesagt haben, das ist nicht witzig. Denn genau diese Worte sind so wichtig. Ihr unterschätzt einfach immer wieder euren Einfluss und eure Reichweite.
Das ist echt nicht witzig, ja.
Ich wusste es.
Deswegen nochmal Credits an Eli auch hier, der sich wirklich bei jedem einzelnen dieser Memes distanziert hat und gesagt hat, das ist nicht cool. Und
Gott sei Dank. Vielen Dank auch von mir an der Stelle. Gott sei Dank. Das macht mir gerade ein bisschen Hoffnung, muss ich ehrlich sagen. Es hört sich doof an, es ist wie so eine Insel quasi. Wie so eine Insel. Geht, sieht man, dass viele Zuschauer es einfach nicht verstehen wollen und nicht kapieren, dass das hier nichts mit Humor und Lustigsein zu tun hat, egal von den Beispielen, die ich gerade genannt habe. Denn am Ende feiert man immer das, was der Streamer selbst auch feiert. Das kann man nicht einzeln großen Situationen immer wieder lustig machen und Memes erstellen. Auch ein Jules ist auf Ex mit am Start. Aber hey, das ist ja nur ein lustiges Meme. Und von den ganzen Memes, die es gibt, bis hin zu KI, generierten Bilder von den beiden. Muss ich sagen, ich finde das alles moral. Ich hab's am Anfang nicht kapiert, die Bilder. Ich hab's, weil die halt ausgeblurrt waren. Ist das verrückt. Oh, Junge, ist das
Moralisch extrem falsch und schockierend. Das Ganze geht mir übrigens mittlerweile so weit, dass es sogar einen Song gibt, in den Hanipu auch vorkommt. Aber es gibt auch Content Creator, die regelmäßig Content zu dem Fall machen und keinerlei Rücksicht auf Isabel nehmen. So wie dieser Content Creator, der beispielsweise ungefragt zu Herr S. fährt, um ein angebliches Interview mit ihm zu führen.
Wir fahren jetzt nach München-Gladbach und zwar gehen wir auf die Suche nach... Ich bin ein großer Fan von diesem Mann. Entschuldigung, das ist noch eine Frage. Können Sie einen Meter zufälligerweise?
Dieser Dude nutzt das Ganze einfach nur, um selber von der Situation zu profitieren. Und das ist, ehrlich gesagt, noch erbärmlich. Ich habe keine anderen Worte dafür. Der nutzt die Situation einfach nur aus, um selber irgendwie Views auf dem Rücken von anderen zu machen.
Drop your weapons!
So cringe und peinlich. Und ja, es gibt mir genau das neue Drachengame. Genau solche Content Creator bestärken das Ganze. Und sorry, wenn ich das so sage, aber ich muss diesen beiden Kommentaren hier zu 100% zustimmen.
Ja. Ich will nicht näher aufs Drachengame eingehen. Ich habe das vorhin schon erwähnt, was ich damit meinte, um das vielleicht ein bisschen mehr auszuführen, weil hier gerade und so beginnt das neue Drachengame. Aber jetzt stell dir mal vor, der neue Drache in Anführungszeichen ist hochgradig psychotisch und hat eine Knarre zu Hause.
Das ist ja nicht mehr witzig.
Ich weiß nicht, ob es eine gute Idee ist,
Zu befeuern.
dahin zu fahren. Und den anzuschnappen. Eventuell. Ich weiß jetzt, eine gute Idee ist. Oder ob der nicht psychotisch genug ist. Ich meine, er ist halt ein Stalker. Ob er nicht psychotisch genug ist, eventuell sich auch Adressen von anderen Leuten rauszusuchen. Vielleicht. Und da mal hinzukommen. Die irgendwas online gesagt haben, dass ihm nicht passt oder vielleicht die das irgendwie gedreht im Kopf, ne, was irgendwie im Kopf so gedreht wurde, dass es nicht ganz klickt oder so. Das kann ganz schnell sein.
Aber ja, was soll man sagen? Dieser Content Creator macht sich auch einen Sorgen um Herrn S., weil dieser verschwunden ist und er ja laut ihm niemandem was getan hat. Das ist echt ein Schlag ins Gesicht für Isa. Aber hey, er stellt sogar die Frage in den Raum, ob sie vielleicht schuld ist, dass er verschwunden ist.
Es könnte der Eindruck entstehen, dass du ein Hurensohn bist. Ein widerlicher kleiner Sohn. Ich bin mir nicht ganz sicher, aber den Eindruck könnten Leute haben. Ich natürlich nicht. Um Gottes Willen, niemals würde ich sowas zu dir sagen. Aber Leute könnten den Eindruck kriegen, eventuell aufgrund deines Contents, dass du eine kleine widerliche Ratte bist. Ich nicht. Ich glaube, du bist, mir egal.
Dieser Content Creator hat noch keine enorm große Reichweite, aber er versucht...
Ach, na sowas. Er hat keine große Reichweite. Na, dann frage mich aber, was er damit jetzt so bezwecken könnte. Was könnte es wohl sein? Er will bestimmt auch
Reichweite haben.
definitiv auf dem Rücken eines Opfers verzweifelt Klicks zu farmen. Dass man über das Internet keine Diagnosen stellen soll, sollte uns allen klar sein. Dennoch gibt es Content Creator, die das machen. Und gerade wenn man doch bemerkt, dass vielleicht mit Leuten etwas nicht stimmt, sollte man vielleicht erst recht nicht auf sie aufmerksam machen.
Er ist ja ziemlich offensichtlich sehr schizophren und
Was zum
auch
Kopf?
andere schizophren auf meiner Page. Aber ihn finde ich am interessantesten.
Diagnosen stellen, schon gar nicht irgendwie als Laien, aber dass man manchmal bei uns in der Gesellschaft, und das gibt es schon ganz lange, mit Menschen, die psychische Probleme haben, völlig falsch umgeht und da eher so eine Art Freude dran hat. Das ist ganz, ganz furchtbar, aber leider nichts, was nicht bekannt wäre.
Sicherlich fragt ihr euch auch, wie ich während meiner Recherche, wie kann das eigentlich alles sein, ohne dass es strafrechtliche Konsequenzen gibt?
Ja.
Denn einige schätzen die Situation ähnlich besorgniserregend ein wie ich. Erschreckend, wie witzig das hier alle finden, bis etwas passiert. Und leider muss wirklich erst immer was passieren, bevor eine Handhabe hat. Ich finde es auch ganz schlimm und bedrohlich für Isabel. Wie kann es eigentlich sein, dass Behörden oder im allgemeinen TikTok nichts gegen ihn machen? Dafür gibt es in Deutschland keine Gesetze. Es muss wirklich eine Tat vollbracht werden, bevor hier irgendwas passiert. Und deswegen stellt sich hier die Frage, ab wann ist Cyberstalking eigentlich strafbar? Cyberstalking wurde erst 2021 ins Strafgesetz Strafgesetzbuch aufgenommen und ist somit jetzt auch strafbar. Isa äußerte sich öffentlich nicht zu dem Fall, bis auf den Hinweis, den sie Knossi in dem Stream gegeben hat. Da das Opfer im Fall von Stalking den Täter keine Aufmerksamkeit geben darf, habe ich Ihr Anwalt einmal gefragt, welche juristischen Möglichkeiten sie hat. Und zwar gegen ihren Stalker, aber auch gegen die Leute, die das Ganze befeuern.
Zivilrechtlich kann man auch verschiedene Verfahren führen. Einstweilige Verfügung oder gegebenenfalls ein Gewaltschutzverfahren. Optimal ist das für die Opfer natürlich nicht. Dann kann man noch überlegen, ja, was ist mit den anderen Menschen, die den Täter in Kommentaren anstacheln? Kann man nachdenken über die sogenannte mittelbare Täterschaft? Da fehlt es dann aber meist an der Tatherrschaft. Man könnte aber mal überlegen, ob man hier an den einen oder anderen Punkt über Anstiftung oder Beihilfe, wenn beispielsweise Informationen preisgegeben werden über das Opfer, hier einschlägig sind.
Und hier kommt noch ein Punkt, mit dem sich auch Kelly sehr schwer getan hat, denn sie musste am Ende sogar nach dem Stalking umziehen und deswegen weiß sie mittlerweile genau, worauf man achten sollte, damit man nicht euren Standpunkt ermitteln kann.
Ich würde sagen, niemals eine Aussicht filmen und auch gar nicht, wie man irgendwie, wenn man auf dem Weg nach Hause ist, weil da könnte man immer Straßenschilder im Hintergrund sehen etc.
Wie gesagt, bei uns war es ja auch ein paar Mal so und die Paaren, also die Tat und bei mir ist das natürlich mal sehr verstärkt als bei mir, dass man irgendwie, das sollte irgendwie rausfinden, wo man wohnt und so weiter. Und man wird schon ein bisschen, das hört sich blöd an, aber man wird wirklich über die Jahre ein bisschen paranoid. Sind alle Fenster zu, ist alles so und wenn ich irgendwas im Hintergrund und genau ist die Kamera abgewickelt, bla bla, das hört sich doof an. Ich weiß auch nicht, wie es bei anderen ist, ja, aber man selber, und, ich will ja natürlich auch aufpassen, dass niemand das nicht sieht, man wird selber, was die Sachen angeht, immer ein bisschen paranoid. Das ist schon ein bisschen schwierig. Oh. Ich will gar nicht wissen, wie es bei anderen ist. Wie gesagt, ich glaube bei mir ist es, noch wesentlich entspannter als jetzt zum Beispiel gerade bei anderen.
Alles Weitere, was für Betroffene wichtig ist, habe ich euch auch noch unten verlinkt. Da gibt es sehr, sehr viele Dinge, die auf jeden Fall zu beachten sind.
Was
auch
macht hier
ich
eine
euch unten in der
Schildkröte?
Beschreibung, wie ihr als Außenstehende damit umgeht, falls ihr jemanden Betroffenen von Stalking kennt. Und ich glaube, uns ist allen klar, dass es mittlerweile genug traurige Fälle gibt, in denen Stalking sehr schlimm ausgegangen ist.
Vor kurzem haben sich Forschende mal viele Studien angeguckt zum Thema Cyberbullying. Das ist nicht ganz das gleiche, aber geht ja in eine ähnliche Richtung. Und da hat sich halt gezeigt, dass online so eine richtige Enthemmung stattfinden kann von allen in der Gruppe drumherum, die da irgendwie mitmachen, am Rand dabei applaudieren, vielleicht noch Likes geben, mit Kommentaren so Öl ins Feuer schütten. Und eine Sache, die als so eine Art Puffer vor dieser Enthemmung geholfen hat, war Empathie. Ich versuche mich mal in die andere Rolle hineinzuversetzen. Ich versuche mal empathisch zu sein und mir auszumalen, was wäre, wenn ich das Opfer wäre. Dann wird klar, wie groß dieser Schmerz ist, wie furchtbar diese Tat ist, wenn ich außen rumstehe und das sogar noch mit befeuere, statt vielleicht irgendwas vielleicht sogar dagegen zu sagen.
Er hat völlig recht, aber ich halte noch mal dagegen, dass im Internet die meisten das Gefühl haben, sie sind unverwundbar und ihnen kann das nicht passieren. Deswegen, und weil das inzwischen schon Jahre so lebt irgendwie, denkt man sich halt,
Sie was bringt.
Follow me and
halt,
bask in the soft light of the moon.
auf die Idee, dass es
Sie können ja immer mit Tieren sprechen.
und deswegen fehlt diese Empathie ein bisschen. Und vielleicht auch ein bisschen zu oft. Vielleicht gibt es das Internet auch schon zu lange.
Sich ein großer Teil des Problems
Geht
Auch
doch
die
nicht.
psychologischen Folgen von Betroffenen sind enorm.
Man denkt ja vielleicht auf den ersten Blick, da kriegt man ein paar Nachrichten und dann kriegt man die Liebe gestanden. Das ist ja fast schon so ein Kompliment.
All right, team, let's move it out.
Gibt es sehr klare Zahlen, wo die Betroffenen berichten, neben der Angst, die man hat, was macht der als nächstes, wann kommt es vielleicht zu Übergriff, wann kommt es vielleicht zu einer Gewalttat, weil man ja selber überhaupt keine Kontrolle hat, wird berichtet von Depressionssymptomen, wird berichtet von Schlafstörungen. Ganz oft sind die Leute nicht mehr in der Lage, ihrem normalen Leben nachzugehen, müssen dann krankgeschrieben werden, ziehen sich zurück und dann kann man in so eine richtige Spirale reinkommen aus Isolation, wo du plötzlich gar nicht mehr das Gute des Lebens hast, sondern nur noch dieses verdammte Stalking in deinem Kopf existiert.
Und ich sage, du wachst jeden Morgen damit auf, was ist heute. Und bei der Honeypoo seit einem fucking Jahr. Ich will auch gar nicht, also ich würde schon gern wissen, ob das, also ich hoffe nicht, dass das irgendwelche Schäden oder bleibende Folgeschäden oder irgendwas hat. Ich hoffe wirklich, dass es ihr gut geht, aber ein Jahr lang unter diesem Druck zu leben, nicht nur vom Stalker, sondern von der Öffentlichkeit und selbst offenbar in befreundeten Runden online, wo man spielen will, wo man vielleicht ein bisschen abschalten will, auch wieder damit konfrontiert zu werden, heilige Scheiße. Ich kann nicht mehr sagen, es tut mir einfach so endlos leid. Es tut mir so leid.
Und dieser Fall hier, finde ich, zeigt auch deutlich, was jahrelanges Stalking mit einem machen kann. Denn diese Frau hier hat sich selbst das Leben genommen, nachdem sie von ihrem Ex-Partner und einer anderen Frau über Jahre drangsaliert und gestalkt wurde. Was bleibt also anschließend zu sagen? Dass Cyberstalking der heutigen Zeit nicht ernst genommen wird, zeigt dieser Fall hier deutlich. Die Leute wollen einen Drachenlord 2.0 kreieren, den man immer mehr befeuern muss. Und somit geht man auch das Risiko ein, die Betroffene zu gefährden. Die Content Creator und Streamer sollten sich ihrer immensen Reichweite auf jeden Fall bewusst sein, dass sie auf dem Rücken der Betroffenen Klicks und Views generiert. Ihr wisst jetzt, was Stalking ist und was es mit den Opfern macht. Und ihr wisst jetzt auch, dass jegliche Befeuerung öffentlich dem Täter genau die Aufmerksamkeit gibt, die er am Ende will. Wozu genau das den Täter bringen kann und was das am Ende für das Opfer bedeutet, ist euch jetzt hoffentlich auch allen klar. Und genau diese Aussagen von einer Tanja bestätigen uns auch nochmal, wie schlimm das Ganze für das Opfer eigentlich ist.
Ich habe einfach nur gewollt, dass es aufhört. Hätte mich wirklich umbringen lassen.
Deswegen liegt es jetzt vor allem an euch da draußen, das Feuer nicht weiter zu entfachen, sondern es einfach auslöschen zu lassen. Denn am Ende sind vielleicht wir alle Mittäter und wir sollten es auf keinen Fall so weit kommen lassen, bis am Ende vielleicht was passiert.
Du hast einfach gemerkt, wie krass dieser Psychoterror ist und dass man sich dann zurückzieht, dass man vielleicht anfängt, Substanzen zu missbrauchen und vielleicht im schlimmsten Fall sogar irgendwann sagt, ich kann dieses Leben nicht mehr ertragen. Und das muss es einfach klar sein, wenn irgendwer denkt, man könnte das verharmlosen oder sagen, ach, ist doch nur da so ein bisschen online seine Liebe gestehen.
Denkt mal drüber nach.
Oh boy. Liebe Gnu, vielen Dank für dein Video, vielen Dank für deine Recherche. Es muss doch irgendwas geben, das fuckt mich total ab. Entschuldigung. Es fuckt mich ab, dass es nichts gibt, was man irgendwie machen kann dagegen. Ich habe ein bisschen die Hoffnung, eventuell, weil sie gesagt hat, weil sie im Video gesagt hat, irgendwie, ich darf nicht reden, Polizei, da passiert ja offenbar schon was. Und weil der andere Kollege meinte, dass der schon ein bisschen länger von der Bildfläche verschwunden ist, dass vielleicht schon irgendwas passiert ist. Also das gibt mir vielleicht so ein bisschen Hoffnung. Ich möchte darauf vertrauen irgendwie, weil ansonsten, es fuckt mich einfach. Ich bin selber nicht direkt betroffen. Ja, ich weiß das selber. Ich bin gerade Außenstehender und bla. Aber diese fucking Hilflosigkeit. Diese fucking Hilflosigkeit, die regt mich am meisten auf. Weil da Sachen gesagt wurden, teilweise auch schon, und sich in Rage gesprochen wurde, ich meine jetzt nicht mich, sondern, ne, die müssen doch irgendwie schon, das muss doch schon halten können, das muss doch einfach. Und vielleicht ein bisschen ins Bewusstsein rufen, dass recht genug den Leuten vielleicht ein bisschen ins Bewusstsein rufen, dass das hier kein Entertainment ist. Dann geh lieber zu einem Cage-Fight und guck dir da an, wie jemand vermöbelt wird. Ja. Okay, ich hab grad andere Sachen im Kopf, aber die werde ich jetzt natürlich nicht sagen.
My psycho entitled cousin commits fraud by literally using my card number without asking me first to pay for her vacation rental that she wanted to reserve. And despite the fact that she didn't even ask me first, I now have a $1,500 charge on my credit card that I have to deal with on top of my own bills. As my cousin literally doesn't see any problem with this, despite the fact that I lost my mind on her when I found this on my statement. Here's what happened. Okay, so last summer, my cousin needed to book a flight for a job interview, and her bank account was weird. I think there was was some hold on her debit card or something like that. She then asked if she could use my credit card and she would send me the money right away. And you know what? I said sure. She paid me back the next day and there was no issues and no drama. But that was supposed to be a one-time thing. Fast forward to about a month ago and I get an alert on my phone for a charge of $1,500 for some vacation rental site. My heart dropped because I thought someone stole my card information. I started going through the charge details and that's when I saw her name in the booking confirmation. I then called her immediately, like, what in the world is this? And it was here that she was so casual about her response. She said she found this beach house for her anniversary trip and they needed a card on file right away to hold the reservation. And she didn't want to lose the date, so she just used mine, you know, without calling me or texting me or even asking. She just typed in my card number from whenever she saved it last year. She said she would pay me back when she gets her bonus in a few weeks, but it's like, dude, a few weeks? So now $1,500 is just floating on my credit card for a week. I told her that's not how this works, but she said I was overreacting and that she literally just used it before and paid me back, so what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is I said yes the last time. This time she just helped herself. So I called the bank and disputed the charge, and they reversed it. And eventually the rental company contacted her saying the payment didn't go through, and they were releasing the reservation. I then told her using someone else's card without permission is fraud. I don't
Stop right there!
But once I said that, she went quiet and then hung up. So am I the jerk for disputing this? Am I really at fault for putting my foot down about this situation? Because right now I don't know what else to do. Holy crap, this is so sketchy. You need to tell me that she saved your card information for a year, waiting for the right time to use it again? My God, if I was in your shoes, I would go through my entire bank statement. I would be like, holy crap, did I actually buy this? Did they scam me out of money? Because I would not just see the thing on that statement. I need receipts, otherwise I'm gonna have to dispute this and figure this out. Like, holy crap, this is so unbelievably dishonest. Like, why would she save that for a year? That is so weird. Like, I don't care who you are. If someone's giving you a leg up and helping you out, the least you can do is have some semblance of privacy towards their information. Like, I'm kind of starting to understand why they had a hold on their debit card, because I'm willing to bet she probably did this before at some point in her life, or she's just super corrupt and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna save this for a year. 365 days. Moment. Thanks for the $1,500. Like, oh my God. So I really hope the original poster definitely again, because this cousin is very clearly untrustworthy, because what they did was completely unacceptable. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, link down below in the description. Also, go to amithejerk.com/submit if you would like to submit your own stories. Am I the jerk for expecting a girl to get off a treadmill at the gym who literally was just standing there and not using it? Because after I asked her to move, her mom got involved and pretty much chewed me out for saying anything about this. And at this point, I'm not sure if I made a mistake or if I crossed a line somewhere. Here's what's going on. Okay, so the gym I go to doesn't really have a lot of treadmills, and I've recently started running. I went to the gym with my partner last night, and all the treadmills
on me.
So I used some weight machines to start, then went back to the treadmills. The girl just sat on the treadmill while her friend was using the treadmill next to her. She'd been there for at least 15 minutes not using it. I went up and I asked if she was using it. She said that she was with her friend, but I said to her, well, can you sit next to your friend's machine instead of using up machines from people who want to use them? But when I said that, she just shrugged her shoulders and refused to move. Then a woman comes over and asks what's going on, and I explain it. She said she's the girl's mother and that I shouldn't be telling her daughter to move. But I just said her daughter shouldn't be taking up machines that she has no intention of using. She then said that her daughter is more than allowed to sit there if she wants to, and that she's doing nothing wrong. But I just said, well, I can see exactly where her daughter gets the entitlement from. She then said that I was out of order for commenting on her parenting, but I just said that she should be a better parent if she can't handle any criticism. A member of staff then came over, and when I explained what was going on, they actually asked the daughter to move off the treadmill or leave the gym. My girlfriend says that maybe I shouldn't have argued with the mother, but I seriously don't see how I've done anything wrong. So am I the jerk here? Because right now I'm not sure if I'm in the wrong. No, I don't think you're the jerk. I think you absolutely had every right to be like, hey, either
try to keep up,
dude, especially this time of year. Like, everybody's going back to the gym, so obviously machines are going to be in use, and it's like, dude, I need to use it. I shouldn't have to sit there and wait while you just chat away with your friend. Stand next to him. Don't take up one of the machines if you're not using it. Because that, in my opinion, is super annoying and very entitled. An airline cleaner stole my AirPods after I left them on the plane. And so now I'm getting some petty revenge by slowly trying to make them go deaf by playing a really loud sound through an application anytime they put my AirPods on. Here's what happened. About 6 months ago, I had a layover in Houston. After deplaning and going through security, I realized that my headphones had fallen out of my pocket. I then submitted the lost item claim with United, the color of the silicone case they had on it, as well as the plane info, the seat number, the whole thing. I also sent a lost note that included my phone number and call. I emailed stating that I could see they had moved from the plane to what seemed to be an office space, but I now realize it was probably employee workers. After about 24 hours, I saw them go to an apartment building. I watched them go from the apartment building to the airport, back and forth, and track the schedule specifically. I gave United the address of the employee, their schedule, and what days they had worked. Surely the whole address and schedule was enough to pinpoint who it was, so they could at least deal with it internally. And I wasn't exactly excited to get the AirPods back if they had been wearing them. United then told me that the AirPods had left the property and that they wouldn't do anything, and that I had to file a police report with the Houston Police Department. For reference, I live in Arizona, so they just closed my claim. Now, I use the Find My Device application a lot for various AirTags and stuff like that. So for the last few months, whenever I see my lost headphones with the earbuds out, I hit play sound on the earbud, and I blast the wearer's ears completely out, and I then quickly see them go back into the case. If they would have called me when they found them, I happily would have seen them before, even enough to buy their own basic pair. I understand they are expensive, and not everyone can swing them, but you know what? I'm slowly working towards making them go deaf. That way, no one else loses a set of headphones. This is the biggest thing I've ever done, and probably the only thing I can do. Oh man, that really sucks. Are you serious right now? If I lost a pair of AirPods, I would be so pissed. Bro, you gotta be kidding. Those are expensive. You gotta be careful with your property, because who knows who's gonna like pick it up and take it from you. I love the fact that you're basically trying to make them go deaf any chance that you get. Because you know what? A twisted part of me is like, yeah, they kind of deserve that. Because this is such a toxic thing to do. So hopefully, in some universe, you get your AirPods back, and you're able to at least like recoup some of the cost of losing them. Because the fact that United did not even go in my opinion, is not surprising, but it's also very frustrating because you do not deserve this in the slightest. Am I the jerk for refusing to go to my sister-in-law's baby shower, all because of the way she talked to me and my mother when I was pregnant? Because now literally every woman in the family is following my example by not showing up, putting me in a predicament where I really just don't know what to do now. Here's what's happening. Okay, so this started as soon as my brother married a woman who I will call Ruby for the sake of the story. At the time, everyone seemed to really like her, and my older sister and I were part of her bridal party. Her wedding was around 5 years ago. Pretty soon, they were talking about trying to have kids, and they were struggling with infertility issues. Ruby was quite upset, but it got a lot worse when my older sister got pregnant. Ruby was snappish and mean to my older sister, and people tried to be mindful since she was struggling. But when the baby was born, Ruby didn't send anything. Well, fast forward, and I got pregnant my senior year of college. It was a surprise baby, and I only told my mom because I was unsure what to do. I was a heavy drinker at family events, and when I wasn't drinking, I must be pregnant. You know what? My face gave away, and that's literally how it came out. I didn't plan to tell my friends like that. Well, Ruby, in short, lost it on me. She yelled at me about how I don't deserve a kid and called me a lot of terrible names. My mom tried to make her stop, but she told her herself and told my mom that she deserved to still live. The whole thing was just horrible. I heard that she was online, and Ruby actually made a post online saying that some people don't deserve kids, and no, she has not. Ruby is now pregnant and she's having her baby shower, and all the women in the family and you know what? I decided not to go. My mom is also not going, and everyone seems to be following my lead on this. We all always need to go. My brother called me and said he shower. He says his wife has been crying about being hated by the family and just wants everyone to make up. But I told him that isn't my problem, and this is literally her fault. He wants me to suck it up and come anyways, and has texted me multiple times about it. But I know if I don't go, no one else will, especially my mother. I mean, she hates Ruby after that argument. And just in case people are wondering, no, we probably won't have a relationship with the baby if nothing changes. I already don't allow my kid near her in the first place, and I have a very strict, if you're a jerk to me, you don't get access to my kids policy. My mom will probably not be a grandparent to the child either, because she will not put It's just to have access to a kid. So am I the jerk here? Because right now I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, Ruby sounds like a nightmare. I hate people like this, dude. They're the worst people to deal with, especially when you're related to them. Like, bro, all you had to do was not be a psychopath about other people having children, and you would have people at your baby shower. But Ruby is literally reaping the rewards of her bad karma she put out. If Ruby doesn't want to be hated by her family and everybody to make up, then guess what, Ruby? You gotta be the one to do it. You've gotta be the one to step up and be like, I'm sorry for what I said. You're a terrible person for saying that. Please forgive me and show up. Let's do Ruby again. Please. Or something like that. Like, she's gotta be the one to extend the olive branch, in my opinion. Because this is some crazy behavior. Does she really expect the mom and the original poster to show up after the terrible things that she said about them? Oh, I'm glad you had a stillbirth. Oh, and by the way, you should have kids. Like, she really needs to apologize for this. Like, this is so weird. So no, you're not the jerk for not wanting to show up to this. I think it's important to cut toxic people out of your life, especially ones who are like irrational and expecting you to wallow through their crap when they refuse to clean it up themselves. That is very unfair and something I would personally refuse to deal with. My brother used to be the most obnoxious Call of Duty player on planet Earth, as he would scream and shout at all hours of the night if he did poorly in the game, which as a result would keep me up all night. So I decided to get some petty revenge by quite literally disrupting his gameplay by booting him offline through the Wi-Fi router, just in some kind of desperate effort for me to get some sleep. Here's how I did it. Okay, so back at
When Kang RMC walks into the arena to face Daichan, Seijin's S-rank Sword King father, and the stakes are insane. The duel ends only when one of them surrenders or loses consciousness. If Daichan wins, Kang becomes his son-in-law. If Kang wins, Daichan backs off and stops messing with Seijin's WHCU schedule. Kang doesn't flinch. He only tells the old man to keep his promise. The moment the match is about to start, mages throw up barriers to keep the building from collapsing. Then they spot something impossible. Kang is using Aura Blade. Before they can even process it, Kang raises his sword and unleashes a demon sword art loaded with annihilating force, aiming to end the fight in one hit. The pressure alone terrifies everyone watching. And the scary part? Kang isn't even going all out because if he does, the whole arena could die. Even so, Daichan blocks with 3 barriers and still gets cut across the face. Instead of backing down, the old man gets excited and calls Kang the perfect trainer for Seijin. And then he speeds up. More barriers stack. Reinforcements rush in. Daichan fires raw energy slashes that bleed from the nose and drop like flies. Kang stays calm, parries, dodges, and comes out untouched. When the barrier team finally faints, Daichan ends the duel, admits Kang's strength, and agrees to stop interfering, then tries to recruit Kang anyway. But how did he end up in this situation? Our MC was a third-rated web novel artist who couldn't seem to get anything good out of his stories. In the end, he overworks himself and dies. Suddenly, he finds himself in hell, where he meets Yamato. Before our MC can get to rant, the King of Hell lets him know that he has won the battle because he arrived with a unique number. And as a reward, our MC is given the opportunity to make a wish. But he is not allowed to wish to be God, which is pretty obvious by the way. Our MC then asks to be incorporated into the world of a novel. The King of Hell agrees to this and asks him for a specific novel that he wants, aside from the ones he wrote himself. He racks his head to find one where he remembers the plot. He picks a novel with a trashy name, I Became the Delinquent Underachiever of Hunter School. The king then gives him 2 more favors. The first favor is to be sent 2 years before the story actually begins. And the second is a wish to be handsome, just like celebrities, so he can finally get the chance to clap the girls. Our MC then has his soul transported into the body of Kang Shin-hyuk, who is obviously the trash dude. He failed his aptitude test, causing him to attend a regular school until another law was passed for him to get tested, and after honing his skills, he awakened as a hunter. Our MC realized that his second chance at life is about to get worse than the first, since he wasn't sent into the story's protagonist's body. Thanks to the memories that just surfaced, he remembered what kind of character Kang Shin-hyuk is. He's the homeroom teacher of the class next to the protagonist, who teaches swordsmanship. Our MC finally opens his eyes after a struggle with his himself to realize that he was really inside Kang Shin-hyuk's body. He gets a call from the Chase Guild's finance team, who wants him to confirm the agreement on his contract termination. The customer care assures him that he is free to call back if he runs into any issues, and after the call, Kang receives a credit alert of 38 million won in his bank account. His total balance ultimately sums up to 300 million. Kong's eyes light up in shock when he sees this, and the depression of being a trash character immediately disappears from his
Drop your
body.
weapons!
He jumps off the bed and stands by the window to fully embrace the fact that he is Kang Shin-hyuk. With the little he has seen in Kong's memories, he struggled, but with a balance of 300 million won, our MC believes that he has secured the bag. In his past life, he was barely surviving.
On me!
But he had somehow stumbled upon his dream money. He is glad that he is still a modern day. In addition to being a 25-year-old dude, he is ridiculously handsome with a banging body. He basically has everything that he needs: money, good abilities, handsome looks, and he was very young. Apparently, he is now a B-rank hunter, but he is not as rich or popular as the story's protagonist, Lee Ji-seong. However, Kong doesn't care since all he wants is a simple life. In a shocking revelation, there are actually two protagonists in the novel. The original protagonist is Kim Do-hyun, but Lee Ji-seong was later transported into Kim's body. Lee Ji-seong then uses his knowledge of the plot to his advantage as he seeks the power points in places that were supposed to be useful for the original protagonist. In addition to this, he used his wealth to consume all sorts of elixirs since it was easy.
Try to keep up!
By doing all of these, he was finally able to reach Kim's talent level. However, our MC's path is quite different since he entered Kang's body. Our MC decides that he has no need to compete with the two protagonists in the story since he is obviously no match for them in the first place. He only wanted to be the protagonist so he could live a good life, but he is cool with what he has with Kang. However, a day will come in the future when the world will go into crisis. In the original story, Kim and Lee joined forces to fight the invaders in an attempt to protect the world. Now that he is a part of the story, Kong wonders if the two will be able to do it yet again, since they will turn out to be the last hope. Momentarily, Kang receives a text from the first hunter school informing him that he has been selected as the swordsmanship instructor. After seeing the text, Kang decides that he's just going to follow the original story until the world finally falls into chaos. Before heading to the school to resume his work as the swordsmanship instructor, our MC gets the time to look into the previous owner of the body. He realized that Kong's social life is just as trashy as it was in his past life. He basically has only 12 contacts on his phone, and it appeared like he intentionally turned his back on the world. In his past life, our MC had no interest in the things that made life exciting for others, like marriage and having kids. He was always saying he liked to be alone, and the fact that he is married to web novels. Apparently, he lost all hope in himself since he was a third-rated web novel artist, but in his current life, he aims to enjoy his life to the fullest. Shortly afterward, he reports to the school where he has been appointed as an instructor. He enters the office and excitedly introduces himself to the first dude he comes across, but the dude just stares at him like he is a ghost. Kong is about to die of embarrassment when the dude finally gets up to greet him. He introduces himself as Park Yeon-seok. Park lets him know that they are going to be students, and Kong lets off a huge smile, saying he is looking forward to working with Park. Just then, two ladies appear on the scene and start commenting on Kong's features. Kong blushes, but he is not surprised since he used one of his wishes to get into his face. They ask him if he has been in a guild before, and he reveals that he recently left the Chase Guild. The ladies hear this and get even more flustered with him since the guild is a prestigious guild. The ladies continue heaping praises on him until a green-haired dude, Jong Hyun-sik, shows up. He reveals that he teaches spearmanship for the second-year students. He adds that he was in the Hwarang Guild, and he is also a graduate of the 6th Hunter School. Jong then asks Kong which hunter school he is from since he appears to be a popular dude. With a huge smile, Kang reveals that he didn't graduate from hunter school. Immediately he says one of the girls Jong was able to become graduating from hunter school. They were studying abroad. Kong lets them know that he is a native
Thunder!
This finally kills the mood in the room, and Jong turns around, saying Kong is nothing but a Chase Guild, but they are absolutely this activates the system to load more memories of the previous inhabitant of the body. Apparently, there is a hunter factor test kit, and even though this is the most accurate way to confirm one's hunter aptitude, it is quite expensive. In the orphanage where Kong was raised, the director embezzled the money for the kit but was eventually arrested. This was when Kang later got tested, and they found out that he has the aptitude to be a hunter, but he had already graduated from a regular school, robbing him of the education that hunter school graduates have. The difference between the two sides later caused segregation, but a protest ensued, calling for the Anti-Non-Hunter Discrimination Act. After much pressure, the bill was passed, and those who graduated from non-hunter schools started getting jobs.
I like
But
to
this
drink
only
on
made the
occasion.
hatred between the two
Any and
factions
every
intensified.
occasion.
This is why it is not advisable for those from a
Good
non-hunter
one.
school to reveal their identity around those who graduated from a hunter school. Kang cannot believe that he is just learning something so important when he had already made a mistake. Park urges him to calm down since he understands that it's his first day and things are already tense for him. Kang assures Park that he has nothing to complain about since he understands their perspective. Kang even believes he got into the school via special appointment, but Park lets him know that he passed the appointment exam and was scouted. Park lets him know that the other teachers might have misunderstood the situation. Jong and the girls make their way to a private place to talk about how their school is making a mistake by using special treatment to hire a teacher. Jong believes that Kang lacks the skills to teach the first-year students swordsmanship. However, Jong believes that the school must have had a reason for assigning Kang to the first-year students. The trio figures out that Kang is from an orphanage since he didn't attend a hunter school. They admit that he is handsome, but he doesn't have the foundation to back it up. One of the ladies plans to tell the first-year students to look for a separate swordsmanship tutor, since Kang is nothing but a quack. Just then, Kang appears on the scene while they are busy making fun of him. Kang tries to soothe out the rough situation between them by revealing that he didn't get appointed to the school via special treatment. However, location via a portal. The old man is genuinely confused after hearing these words from Kang, and he believes that he is not okay upstairs. Kang points to the portal, but for some reason, the old man can't see the portal. Just a single strike. Kang reveals his plan to treat Park and the other staff to a meal to celebrate his win. The ladies walked out of the training ground, looking totally bitter and angry that Jong lost to Kang. That night, Kang and the staff go out to have fun. They drink a lot, but when Kang gets home, his body goes through a self-purification process, thanks to what the old man did to his body. Kang wakes up in shock as he realizes that whatever the old man did to him is well over the top. Because of this, he has no choice but to return to the hidden world. Kang also plans to give thanks to Cho for helping him out. Kang walks through the harsh, cold lands, wondering if Cho really can't leave the portal like he said. He finds the old man where he is busy meditating, and he asks Kang if he was able to defeat the spear user. Kang reveals that he was able to do so just with his strength, and Cho concludes that the spear user is pretty weak. However, Kang argues against this and says he needs clarification on things, which is why he came to see him. Kang asks Cho what he did to him, and the old man replies that all he did was open his dantian so he doesn't get beaten up. The old man asks Kang when he has been practicing martial arts. The old man becomes more interested in Kang, and he calls him forward to hear his story. It finally dawns on Kang that he got stronger all thanks to martial arts. He then tells the old man that he knows nothing about martial arts. Cho is shocked to hear this, and he mentions that there was some level of internal energy in his body, which accumulated on its own because Kang usually wields a sword. Kang knows that when it comes to martial arts novels, internal energy is accumulated through martial arts.
And bask in the soft light of the moon.
Kang then asks Cho if he knew the name of his country before he found himself in the portal. Cho replies that his country is Ming, and the moment he says this, Kang figures out why Cho knows nothing. This is because he came from an entirely different world.
Chivalry
Kang
will
then tells
never
Cho that
die.
the world he knew before is gone because martial arts no longer exist on the outside. Cho is shocked to hear this, and Kang continues, saying a different power emerged, and because of this, martial arts slowly disappeared. Kang chooses to tell him this rather than tell Cho that he is from a different world. Cho believes Kang, as usual, and he reveals that he has lost track of time because he has been in the portal for so long. Kang then asks the old man if he is hungry because he brought food for him. He hands Cho a sweet packet, and Cho makes the perfect meal.
Lay to bear. Ring cutter.
To prevent smallpox.
Receive my blessing. With one heart, we pray. Fulfill our pact. Suffer the wrath. Overruled.
He says that all he knows is just. Kang realizes that he is the presence of the same martial artist and starts
Witness the power of Gugwa. Lush as the moon. Show no mercy. Transfixed.
Cho is shocked and impressed, and he finally begins to bring up Cho can sense the fact that Kang is not greedy, and he is also Because of all of these good traits, Cho tells Kang that he is willing to take him as his disciple. In a shocking turn of events, Kang refuses the offer point blank. Cho is forced to ask again to know if he heard right or not. Kang maintains his answer, telling the old man that he has no intentions of getting stronger because he only wanted help to win in the duel, and he has gotten it. He wants to go back and start living a normal life. And when he says that, he believes that with this, he is slowly getting closer to his dream life. Since he has already told Cho that he will be coming for training every weekend, Kang plans to enjoy life during the week. Kang enters his classroom to find his students in an upright position, and the moment he enters, they all salute him out of respect. The students assure him that they are going to remain confident, just like he advised them to. They have all heard about how Kang absolutely crushed Jong, and Kang asks the students how they knew, since the staff were the only ones allowed to watch the fight. Assassin, and this shocks Kang to his bones. He remembers that he has no memories of Kang joining Antas, but then it suddenly dawns on him that the novel was finished, and the author mentioned in an interview that he was working on a side story.
Fancy meeting
the
you
system
here.
tells him that he can
Out
now
for a
view the
stroll
prologue
again?
to the side story, and without hesitation, he quickly
Aren't
views it.
you a busy
It turns
one
out that
these
during his
days?
early days in the guild, he had a
Still,
companion
running
whose name
around
was
like this
Chang
all
Su.
the time.
Chang Su was the
Remember
one who
to take a
reported the
proper
orphanage
break
director
once in a
who
while,
also
you
rescued
hear?
Kang. 2 years ago, the two were returning from a mission when
Swing
another
by my
portal
place
opened
when you've
beside
got a
them and
moment.
unleashed a
The
barrage
Knights of Favonius
monsters
sent
toward
over a
them.
bunch of stuff
They
again,
requested backup,
and there's
but because
some
another team
for
was also
you.
in an accident, the two
Just
didn't get the
maybe
backup
not
that they
right
requested.
now.
Kang
I've got to
saw
go
Chang
sort out
Su
a little
like an
matter
older
with the
brother and
Lightkeepers.
only family he had.
See you
But
next
Chang Su
time.
had to sacrifice
Do
himself
remember
for
to come
Kang
pick up
live.
that crayon drawing
After
Klee
Chang
made
Su's
for
death,
you.
the guild simply sent a report that they had
If only
no
I ran
capacity
into
to help.
Flint's today.
They claim monsters
Could have had
lived
a
in the
good
city too,
drink.
so they had to sacrifice the few to save the many. However, Kang was no fool, and he knew that everything was about factions. He and Chang Su were both graduates of a regular school, and because of this, they were always pushed to the sides. Angered by this, Kang requested an overseas deployment, and he was sent to China. However, he returned to Korea after a year. When he started considering leaving the guild, he was approached by Seora, who suggested that he join Antas. This was basically what happened, and it turns out that Kang has his own backstory. After he was approached by Seora, he wasted no time joining, and he even started sending half of his income as a donation to Antas. Apparently, he once asked Seora out too, but he was turned down, and he tried to play it like a man by becoming friends with Seora. It turns out that he actually applied for the Hunter School just so he could be near Seora. Our MC cannot believe that the previous Kang is so trash that he joined the organization not because of revenge, but because of Seora. Kang is still going through these memories when Seora asks him if he is okay. Still trembling from shock, he nervously answered that he was fine. Kang thought he was already having his life together, but he couldn't believe that he was suddenly a member of a crime syndicate. Seora then tells Kang that she is impressed that Kang was able to get himself hired by the school, since it is always a difficult thing to achieve. It turns out that Kang actually passed the exam on the first try, which shows how much he really liked the girl. Sora then asks Kang how he has been settling in school, and he replies that he has been coping. Sora mentions that she was hurt when she found out that Kang had gotten into the school without telling her. Kang simply replies that things were hectic, which is why he didn't. Sora then asks Kang why he didn't send any donation for the current month. Kang hears this, and realizes that he can't keep sending money to the organization unless he plans to suffer after his retirement. Seora is shocked when Kang tells her that he no longer has intentions of sending donations. However, Seora is not pissed since Kang has given a lot of money in the past. In addition, Kang is now a teacher who earns little, and they can't expect him to donate out of the little. Seora reveals that all donations are basically voluntary, and when our MC hears this, he can't believe just how trash Kang was. Seora then tells Kang that there is the possibility that his rankings have also risen since he defeated a B-rank hunter. Seora smiles at Kang, telling him that she wants them to change the world together. But Kang sees this as a clear invitation to destroy the world. Unlike other criminal organizations, Antas has a rule about not touching civilians or the innocent. In addition, they are not even allowed to touch Hunter School students unless it is a desperate situation. Kang figures out that Seora's role in the organization most likely revolves around the recruitment of students. However, this is the only stuff he knows because of what he read in the novel. He wonders if there are any other secrets that are hidden in the side story. Kang then asks Seora what his mission is, and the lady tells him to just focus on adjusting to school life. She urges him to make some friends along the way too. Kang then requests more details, claiming that he wants to know more so he can make plans. Seora stands up to leave and tells Kang that they will have to meet regularly if he wants more details. She suggests that they meet on the last Tuesday of every month. Kang wonders why she picked Tuesdays, and Seora reveals that there are usually no office dinners on Tuesdays, so they can grab dinner then. With this, Seora leaves. By the weekend, Kang resumes his training with Cho. Because he is impressed with Kang's growth, Cho decided to write a secret manual to help guide his inner energy circulation with his martial arts techniques. Cho tells Kang that he has helped him open his Dantian, but it is up to him to master it. Cho lets him know that he has to engage in a practice where he circulates internal energy through his entire body every day to properly get the hang of it. Kang focuses on meditation instead of giving a reply, and this earns him a punch to the head. He screams in pain while telling the old man that he is disturbing his focus. However, Cho says Kang is not focusing in the first place because he can clearly see that he is troubled from the way his inner energy is flowing. Kang is surprised to see that the old man can sense his worries just from his energy flow. And Cho mentions that the energy flow is just like breathing. Cho then tells Kang that he is free to tell him whatever is on his mind because he is open to help. Kang then asks the old man if he looks like a good person or a bad person. Cho simply replies that it is up to him to do good or bad, since only those with power are the ones worrying about this. He tells Kang that losers in war are always considered the bad guys since they are dead and can't tell their own side of the story. Cho mentions that good or bad are nothing but illusions without power, because those who were involved in the Great War between good and evil blood cultists all suffered early deaths. After giving out his word of wisdom, Cho asks Kang if it was helpful, and he says yes. Cho then demands that Kang fetch him a chocolate bar. The last line from Cho's advice got to Kang because it doesn't matter if he is on the good or bad side. As long as he is involved, he risks dying in the war. Kang is someone who just wants to make money and enjoy his life, and this basically contradicts that. This causes Kang to request a meeting with Seora. Seora is surprised that Kang is already calling for another meeting when they already made plans that they were going to meet at the end of the month. With a serious face, Kang tells Seora that he has something to tell her. He asks Seora if he is free to quit Antas, but this immediately sparks a scary reaction from Seora, who rushes toward Kang's head with a fork. Everyone present in the restaurant is shocked when they see this. They immediately start assuming that Kang cheated on his girlfriend. Kang was already expecting a crazy reaction, but he didn't know Seora would take it a bit further. Seora then demands further explanation of what Kang said. Kang promises to explain, but suggests that they leave the restaurant since there is already too much attention on them. Kang says they should head to his car because he has things that he wants to show her. Momentarily, the two enter his vehicle and they start driving to Inshin. Seora asks the dude why they are driving to Inshin, and he says he needs to show Seora something because words alone will not cut it. Seora still has the fork on Kang's neck, telling him that he has to explain what he said in the restaurant. Kang then mentions that he joined Antas because of the discrimination against non-hunter school graduates. However, he believes that things have started changing. Seora laughs at Kang for believing things have changed just because he won a duel. Kang says he is not 100% sure, but he can see a possibility. Kang says he wants to do things by himself without involving Antas, since Antas's way of doing things is a bit extreme. Kang says there is a lot about Antas that doesn't align with what he wants, like the terrorism and the way they kill people without thinking twice. Seora then mentions that not all the terror attacks were caused by Antas because some were pinned on them by the government. She then adds that everyone who died deserved it. Kang argues with the lady, saying no one deserves to die. Seora is pissed that Kang is worried about the missions when he isn't the one carrying them out. Kang admits that he is scared, and he urges Seora to put down the fork. Seora then withdraws a bit, but there is already a mark on his neck. Kang already knows that it is not going to be easy to leave a criminal organization, but he has already come prepared. Kang then tells Seora to search the news about the Hunter Management Agency Deputy Director Min Young-seok's assassination. Apparently, Min Young-seok embezzled tens of billions. Kang admits the dude deserved to die, but he doesn't think his driver and the two other passengers who were involved in the truck collision actually deserved to die. The driver lost his wife in his early life, and he lived alone with his daughter.
Das weiß es mal. Ich hab das mal kann, der nicht das machen kann. Da bist du schon dran frei.